that they were about 33% of every illegal alien that's taken into custody on an annual basis. Those individuals are re-released back into the country while awaiting deportation orders from a federal court. And about 75% of those individuals that have been released, they abscond, they run. And this has been an ongoing thing for years and years. It's well documented. It's well known by these federal agencies. Yet they take these guys into custody, they let them back into the country, and then they run. And then they claim that they have to conduct more internal checkpoints in order to catch.
Terry Bressi from checkpointusa.org. Stay there. We're going to come right back to you after this quick break and continue discussing the important work you're doing out there defending the 4th and 5th Amendment. Stay with us, as well as the 10th. Webster Tarpley coming up with key info. Keith Bryan from Ireland with the inside job going on over there shooting military and police. Chess Kane joining us to talk about micro FM transmitters that are totally legal that go out 3 miles. FCC approved. Terry Bressi from checkpointusa.org. Please continue, sir. With specifically people who haven't seen the videos yet at your site, I mean, the type of hell you go through just declaring your rights to the Border Patrol when you're nowhere near the border.
Sure. Well, it can be a pretty intimidating experience, as some of the checkpoint videos there show. These agents, from my perspective, are minimally trained, don't understand the proper scope of their authority and the rights of the individuals that they're actually stopping there. And they often times try to exceed the scope of their authority by browbeating or threatening individuals that they stop to either completely comply with them or face any number of actions taken against them. And the basis of how I respond when I come up to these checkpoints is that as an individual, as an American, I have a right to travel within my own country without being impeded or molested by federal agents, unless they have a reason to believe that I've either harmed somebody else or that I've damaged property. Those are the basis. It's a hallmark of a free country to be able to travel freely without having to explain who you are, where you're going, why you're going there, or any of those other things. And these internal checkpoints are a direct challenge to the rights of individuals to travel freely within their own country. And so as I approach these checkpoints, the agents oftentimes they stop you. They want to know your citizenship. They want to see your documentation. And what I ask them is whether or not I'm being detained and whether or not I'm free to go. And oftentimes, as you watch the checkpoint videos, what you'll see is that I'll ask if I'm being detained, and the agent will say, no, you're not being detained. Well, if you understand what detained means, that means that you're engaged in a consensual interaction with a law enforcement officer, and either party can break off that interaction at their leisure. So if I'm not being detained, then that follows that I must be free to go. But when I seek that clarification and I ask them, am I free to go, they'll say, no, you cannot leave until you answer our questions.
So it's color of law. They want you to violate your 4th and 5th Amendment, your 10th Amendment, states' rights, 9th Amendment being violated, and so they hold you in this color of law, no man's land, or this purgatory. Right, exactly. And it becomes a waiting game, if you will. I'm pretty sure I've done a lot of research on the law. I've written about it a lot. I've spoken about it a lot, and I'm pretty sure with regards to what my rights are here. And so I'll just wait them out until they either get tired of messing with me or their supervisors. And this is what's quite interesting now. Like I said, I've been to this checkpoint about 70 times now. And 75% of the time, the agents that are on duty are smart enough to understand their limited scope and my rights, and they just wave me through. But 25% of the time, you get an agent who doesn't like the fact that someone isn't basically kissing their feet. So they try to jack up the incident by making it much more difficult for the person that they're stopping. So they'll claim oftentimes that they have the power and the authority to indefinitely detain anybody until that person proves to the agent's satisfaction that they are a United States citizen. Well, if you understand your basic rights and the Constitution at all, you realize that is completely bogus. Now, the courts have recognized that Border Patrol agents have the authority at the border when someone is trying to come into the country, that they have the authority to indefinitely detain.
Yeah, but the bigger issue, the feds aren't doing anything to stop illegals. They arrest a few thousand businesses a year of the tens of millions for token PR. They do loopholes for the illegal aliens. It's clear they're targeting the citizens. I mean, if there was really a huge federal program, which is actually one of the three things the feds can actually do to really expel the illegal aliens or go after them, then they were doing this, and we saw results, then in court, still you could shoot it down. But clearly, this is a fishing expedition to expand unconstitutional authority across the United States in areas of more than two-thirds of the nation. I want to come back and briefly finish up with you, then go ahead and get our next guest online as well, sir. But I want to talk more about how folks can check out what you're doing and duplicate what you're doing at checkpointusa.org with our guest, Terry Bressi. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, Infowars.net, PrisonPlanet.tv, ArnoldExposed.com, TheObamaDeception.net. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot going on in the background, by the way. You know, I can't talk about what's going on behind the scenes right now here. But I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, they do not want the Obama deception to come out. I'm going to tell you right now, look for launch in the next 12 hours. Because let me tell you, this stuff's real. The threats, the intimidation, the things we go through here, they confirm everything we know about the enemy. But it doesn't matter. You're only alive once, ladies and gentlemen. The enemy knows the sleeping giant that is liberty and freedom is rising. They know you have power. That's why they're trying to block us every way they have. So I will tell everybody right now, the Obama deception is going to drop. It's probably dropping today. Get ready at prisonplanet.tv. I'm being forced to do this because we may not have a chance if we wait. And I'm showing my hand. I know the enemy's listening right now. Launch the operation. Launch it. Launch it at all sites. Just go ahead and launch it. Launch it right now. I just made that decision. Launch the operation right now. We'll only have 2 or 3 versions of it up there for everybody. Oh, man. I wish the public knew how real this was. Terry Bressi, you're on the air.
Yes. What I can recommend to other folks is that, A, folks have to know what their rights are. B, they have to be willing to assert them. And C, you have to be willing to defend them. And in today's climate, I think people realize now that one of the most effective ways that you can defend your rights when you're asserting them in front of a law enforcement officer is to record your interactions. So if you're not doing anything wrong and you're being intimidated or coerced by a law enforcement officer at a random stop, either walking down the street or driving a vehicle down the road, the best thing that you can do to protect your rights is to record your interaction and be willing and able to make that recording available to the public at large. It's amazing how powerful basic tools that are available to any consumer in the marketplace today can be used to help you defend your rights and what you think is important in today's day and age. And this is the technique that I use when I encounter suspicious checkpoints. I know my rights, I assert them, and I defend them by making a recording of those checkpoint stops and then posting them online. So people can see for themselves exactly what's happening, who's doing it, and why they claim they're doing it.
That's right, and dead men tell no tales, so it's always important to get your information out, then you're somewhat protected. You've done this quite a few times. How many times have you been stopped by these people at their warrantless checkpoints and presented the Bill of Rights, Constitution, Declaration of Independence? How many times, roughly?
Well, I've been stopped at this checkpoint about 70 times in the last year.
And this has been going on for 6 years?
Well, this particular checkpoint has been in place for just over a year.
But you said since 2002, though, you've been going through this.
Well, 2002 was my first experience. In 2005, they had a couple more. They were just doing them temporarily, like every once in a while they would pop up. But in 2008, January 2008, they changed how they were conducting them. And instead of doing them at random times in random places, they set up along one specific location on the highway, and they left it open 24/7. So it's been open since January, early January of 2008, and it's been ongoing all that time. So in the past, I had missed a fair amount because they weren't being done on any kind of a steady basis. But now they're being done constantly, and so every time that I travel that road, it's guaranteed that I'll have to go through this particular checkpoint.
Just incredible, my friend. Absolutely amazing. Well, as this continues to develop, we'll continue to check in with you at checkpointusa.org, and I want to thank Terry Bressi for coming on with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.